Much for having me. Well, this is a union whose president spoke at the RNC. He was given a prominent speaking slot. So I don't think we were anticipating an endorsement. But what Vice President Harris said during the meeting that she had with him this past week is so significant and something that her opponent would never be able to say. She said, I will treat you the exact same way I would treat you had you endorsed me. So she's going to be a president, a public servant for people who did or did not endorse her versus Trump, who acts according to political calculations and whether someone did him a favor.
I know you're from the state of Pennsylvania. You do a lot of political work in the state of Pennsylvania. You think of working class voters in a state like that. Many of them are union members, and whether there's a challenge for this candidate this time around. If there is, how does she make up for it?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of polling suggesting that the momentum is fully behind her. She's experiencing a post-debate bump. But at the same time, the message will not change. We will continue to be the underdogs, and she will continue to reach out to union members, to moderates, to independents, to show that she is going to work for the working class, not billionaires and corporations. She's going to be out there advocating for opportunity economy that works for everyone, as opposed to continuing the multi-trillion-dollar tax cut for billionaires and corporations that Trump espoused during his administration.
Cope. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what you have there is a Kamala Harris shill, a person that supports Kamala Harris, really just coping over the fact that, that the Teamsters are not endorsing her. Now, they're not really endorsing Donald Trump, but we'll be going over that because it seems that the CEOs, the main people, are going, I guess, against their constituents within the company because a whole whopping of them really want to support Donald Trump here, and I don't think they're going to be too great on that. So we'll be getting directly into this. So what we have here from George, saying, breaking, Teamsters, one of the largest labor unions in the country, just released a poll showing that an overwhelming majority of their 1.2 million members, they support Trump over Kamala Harris. It is a 58.85% for Donald Trump, and then we have a 32.5% for Kamala Harris. It looks like they may endorse Trump any day now, which would be historic. 2 weeks ago, their president, Sean O'Brien, went on Face the Nation and revealed that a big chunk of his members, who are lifelong Democrats, were not happy that Kamala Harris refused to let him speak at the DNC. The poll clearly shows that. So, I don't think that they will actually endorse Donald Trump. At the very least, they'll do it behind closed doors because they don't want to embarrass themselves any further. But nonetheless, whether they endorse Donald Trump or not, that is really massive here. We'll be showing you guys and telling you guys why this is a massive deal, and go look at this.
I'm going to say this. Whatever the critics out there, and they're very few in the leadership, whenever I get an opportunity to highlight the American worker, especially the Teamster worker, I'm going to take any and all venue. We asked both conventions respectively at the same time, and the Republican National Convention immediately responded to us, didn't try and edit any of our messages, and I was hopeful that the Democrats would do the same, but they didn't. I'm not upset about it, but I can tell you this, my rank and file members who have been lifelong Democrats are not happy about it. I'm going to say that.
That is a really huge hit for Kamala Harris here, and I'm going to be telling you exactly why this is. So, again, we have this here from Limited Talk saying the Teamsters have endorsed every single Democratic presidential nominee since Bill Clinton. Kamala met with Teamsters 2 days ago. They decided today not to endorse her after internal polling showed 60% of members and wanted Trump. Brutal blow to Kamala Harris. And then we have this here that pretty much saying, what is it? The DC Drano saying, I'm confused for the first time in 30 plus years. The Teamsters Union will not be endorsing a presidential candidate. They said they didn't have majority support among their members for one or the other. I'm sorry, but doesn't 58% count as a majority? The members want Trump, the corrupt bosses want Kamala, so they split the baby. Yeah, so that's really weird, right? Because you have 31% is Kamala Harris, but then you have Trump is 58%. That is that's 27% more for Trump than it is for Kamala Harris, and that is really devastating here. Like, I don't know what else to tell people, but that is not looking great for Kamala Harris. That is looking like an absolute catastrophe on every regard, and we're going to be showing you exactly that a little bit here on what is going on. So, Teamsters have said Vice President Harris attends Teamsters rank and file roundtable. Vice President Kamala Harris met with rank and file Teamsters from around the country on Monday, marking the final rank and file presidential roundtable as the union weighs its endorsement in the presidential campaign. So, yeah. And these are some of the ones that we have here for Kamala Harris. Biden had 34%, while Trump had 36%. And now it's pretty much, even recently, before this poll was released, it was Harris had 34% and Trump had 59.6%. And Trump only went down like 1%, give or take. But in the recent poll, as we've shown you guys, Kamala Harris has dropped a whole 3%. So that's not great here. And undecided is 6% and don't know is 5%. So yeah, it ain't going too great here. And guys, we'll be showing you this here as well. Teamsters released presidential endorsement polling data. For the past year, the Teamsters Union has pledged to conduct the most inclusive, democratic, and transparent presidential endorsement process in the history of our 121-year-old organization. And today, we are delivering on that promise to our members, said Teamsters General President Sean M. O'Brien. Our members are the union, and their voices and opinions must be at the forefront of everything the Teamsters do. Our final decision around a possible presidential endorsement will not be made lightly, but you can be sure it will be driven directly by our diverse membership. The Teamsters have not yet endorsed any candidate for U.S. president. The union's General Executive Board expects to announce a decision on Wednesday, which, again, this is currently what we call, this is Thursday, so we'll be seeing what's going on here. But yeah, so it was yesterday, so that's what's been going on. And so yeah, it's not looking good. And of course, the media is crying, coping over the fact that this is going on here, and they're really sad.
The union also put out its internal polling that showed that there was a pretty wide margin of rank and file membership that supported former President Donald Trump. To what extent is that a referendum on the work of this administration?
Look, I'm not going to speak to their poll. I'm not going to speak to the rank and file. Look, it is. We're talking about a 2024, obviously, an election that is just a few weeks away. I can't speak to that. I can't speak to their decision to endorse, not endorse.
The union also put out its internal.
So, of course, skipping the question is crying about it, and a bit more for you guys to see here.
Not endorsed Kamala Harris yet because, quote, you don't hire someone unless you give them an interview, unquote. Is that all it takes? Will he endorse Harris after today?
I think that he is doing his job representing the Teamsters, which is he is making it clear that they aren't committing to a particular party just because of a party affiliation. But what he cares about is who is going to be best for workers, who's going to be best for unions. Now, the reality is that a lot of the things that he wants and that he wants for the Teamsters, such as making it easier for other workers to join a union, to join the Teamsters, those kinds of things he's more likely to get out of Vice President Harris in the same way he's been more likely to get support for unions out of President Biden. You even had, as you noted, President Trump sort of giggling with Elon Musk, which is, the way to keep workers in line is fire them if they threaten to organize or they threaten to strike. That's not going to win any favors or support from the union. So I would be surprised if we don't see a Teamsters endorsement of Kamala Harris. But I think it's also worth noting how, tough they're being about saying you don't get it for free. We're making sure that you're out there representing the interests of unionized workers.
This just in. The Teamsters are releasing the results of their member polling on which presidential candidate to back. And here it is, 31% say they support Harris compared to 58% who say they support Trump. The union typically backs Democrat candidates, but has delayed its endorsement. In this contest, the union's General Executive Board expects to announce a decision at some point today. So take from that what you will.
Oh my, put that back up on the screen. Holy moly.
Yep.
Trump, they prefer 58 to 31 over Harris in the Teamsters.
Yep.
If that is the actual number and the Teamsters doesn't come out and endorse Trump, something's wrong.
Yeah, so it's not really going too great here for Kamala Harris. She keeps on catching these L's, and we'll see what else goes forth. This is a huge win for Donald Trump, even though if they don't really endorse him. So I don't know about you guys, but it's not. It looks like Trump might be on the up and up here. Again, don't get too complacent. We got to still keep on voting for Donald Trump and make sure we get those votes in so he can actually win the presidency. But again, it seems like everything around Kamala Harris is falling apart. Even though that Kamala Harris might be in the polls and she most likely will win the popular vote, does that mean she'll win the electoral college, which is what needs to be win the actual place in the first place? So we will see what happens. But it ain't looking good, and everything might be in a great spot, even though Trump is under attack, including his rally attendees, because, all of the obviously random mysterious illness that they got as of a few weeks ago. So, yeah. Alright, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.